he has guns and threatening people. He's just out there screaming. This is crazy. Hello, like and subscribe. Welcome to another video. Boy, what a crazy night last night. Ah, shit. We have some video from last night. I just went outside just right before I'm going to bed, jumping in the shower real quick and going to bed. Somebody's yelling and screaming outside right now. Some crazy shit. I turned my generator back on. I went out. I didn't even turn my headlamp on. I got this headlamp I normally turn on, but I opened the door. I heard screaming. I didn't turn it on because I didn't want to attract attention. But somebody's just out here yelling crazy shit. He's screaming, "You're a fucking lying whore." There's dogs barking. I just thought I heard him just yelling like something backhoe or some shit, right? And this guy, like, he has guns and threatening people. He's just out there screaming. This is crazy. I mean, I don't have a gun. I got throwing knives and shit. But, I mean, somebody with a gun could just shoot right through my trailer. I'm half tempted to fly the drone over to see, like, if I can see something. I'm mainly making this video so if I'm dead because somebody shoots me, they'll know it's the guy right over there. It's like, what the is going on? Who's he actually fucking yelling at? I don't know. This is like, it's kind of scary. Like, I'm out here, the nearest cop is probably like 40 minutes away or some shit. I'm not one to call the cops either. Like, that's not really my thing. So there could be one cop 10 minutes away, there's one 40 minutes away. I won't get a cop until there's two cops there 40 minutes. Why? Well, oh my God, I can hear the guy yelling through my trailer now. Now I'm getting scared. Anyway, back to what the cops will do if I call them. I already told all my stories about my criminal history. And that one bullshit when I was 18. So on my record, attempted assault on a police officer, and I never in my life have tried to assault a police officer. The guy is over there where I would open my door to look out of to see. He's still yelling out there. The weird thing is, the sound doesn't sound like it's coming from his house. It sounds like it's coming from other neighbor. What the f to do? And this is the same guy, pretty sure. When I was over fixing that street, fixing the mud puddle, this guy raced his truck right next to my back and like spray a little mud on it. Like, everybody else was going like slow and around me when I was fixing the road, and this dude's just like, vroom. And he never waves. He's like the one guy. Everybody out here waves at everybody when they drive by. If it's light enough to see, they're waving. Everybody's waving. Not this guy. I don't know what to do. I feel as though, like, what if this guy killed his wife and he's having some mental breakdown right now outside. If I hear a gunshot, I'm calling the cops. This is more reasons why I should just bail on my concept of sewage treatment plants. Like, I just need to build a sewage system and slap a mobile home here and put this place up for sale and get the out of here. Oh, crazy motherfuckers out here. Like, that's not even part of my plan. I just don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable in front of my window on that side. What happened to Guda? Well, he made a video as this crazy guy was going to kill him. Block my door. I'm going to make it a lot harder on him. Turn my lights off. Now I see a light flashing over there. Oh, it's gone. Oh, he's yelling there. He's yelling more. Sounds like he went farther away from me, though. Oh, there's that light again. God, I hope he's not with my other neighbors. These neighbors, the cool neighbors, they will shoot him. I have no question in my mind. I got my throwing knives right here. Hopefully I don't need them. I also have a samurai sword and a baseball bat. Oh my God, I can hear him. How the hell could you just stand out there yelling this long? You have to just be crazy as he's still yelling. I couldn't even go to sleep right now because I can literally hear through the windows. If he sounds like he's like on my property, coming my way, like the yells get louder, I'll call the cops. If I hear screams of a female or arguing, like some other male is out there arguing, I'll call the cops. The whole reason I turned the camera on is just in case I get killed, people will know what the f happened. All 5 people in the world would give a f. Oh, how did I get so lucky to buy a property right next to the cray-cray? Alright, so as you can see, that was kind of a weird situation. And you know, that situation last night helped me make a couple decisions that I've been kind of like, you know, I really want to do this sewage treatment plant because I want to utilize the resource to repair the land, right? We've heard the whole thing. Well, this fucking crazy motherfucker across the way, I mean, we share a corner, right? Corner to corner. You know, beyond this video stuff I'm doing, I wanted to have classes about regenerative agriculture stuff, tours, workshops, you know, this type of thing. That's really what I'm trying to do is, like, you know, get systems in place, testing them, what works, teaching this, you know, other people coming in, teaching, just all that kinds of shit. Just education, knowledge. That's all that matters, okay? So the types of people that come out to these types of things and want to do this, they're not the same type of people that are going to want to have to deal with some kind. I mean, I don't know what this guy, if he only freaks out in the middle of the night, I doubt it, because I've been told that he pulls guns on little old ladies. Alright, so I've been even tossing around like this invention thing could make me so set financially which is like the biggest thing I've been holding off on never having kids, because it's like, I'm not gonna have public school children. No, I'm gonna have kids that get a classical education. And if I can't afford that, I'm not gonna have kids. I want the best that money can buy when it comes to my kids. Even if it means going without kids my entire goddamn life. Oh well. And I wish everybody was of that same frame of mind. This wouldn't be such a crazy ass planet if people had a little more responsibility, or a lot more responsibility when it came to breeding. So anyway, I've even been tossing around the concepts of like, maybe I want to have kids if I can meet the right chick, you know. And I mean, that's a whole other story. What's the right chick? I mean, literally, genetics will tell me. Testing those little genetic history, you know, finding somebody with very, very low percentages, 0% of mental disorders, 0% of like retardations, you know, anything like that. Like, I'm trying, if I'm gonna have kids, I want them to be perfect as humanly possible. I'm going to invoke every bit of knowledge that I've acquired about children rearing in my 47 years at this point, and apply it to them. You know, I know a lot of about raising kids. Something that everybody should know, that every time I talk about kids I say, is that the most important part is from like negative a month or something like that up to like, I think it's like a year and a half or some shit, or 2 years, or it's some ridiculously amount of time where the certain type of brain cell grows in humans. So if you're not reading to your kids and talking with them like they're adults from the time those kids are before even 0 years old, and I say that because I just am like, you should just be in the habit, you know, by the time that reading to literally a little tiny human, right? Because that is what makes those certain brain cells. Anyway, have a family next to this psycho. I mean, the people that live right next door to me are a family. But this psycho is new, and they've been there like a long time, so their kids, you know, but still, like, man, I was terrified for their kid, you know, last night. Anyway, nobody needs to put up with that kind of bullshit, right? And I don't want to be around that type of bullshit if I'm gonna have a family, or if I'm gonna have people that are coming out to my property to look at the systems that I've put in place, and a tour or whatever. Like, all that, you know, it's just super irresponsible of me, right? And it's like, well, that's, people might say, well, that's your property, you should be, yeah, you're damn right. But I also have to think about the fucking safety. Now, and all this equals what right now? It just equals that I'm fucking not gonna give a fuck about a sewage treatment plant. Like, having this whole thing, like this whole, like, why would I want to have that whole fight? You know, I mean, it's just gonna be a wasted effort, because what's the point? I need to be someplace where there, and you know, and maybe it's just even another property in it, although I freaking love the view and I love that, but and so basically though, I mean, the guy could leave or something, so it's not like I'm just gonna abandon the whole situation. It's just like, right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go, okay, f*** a sewage treatment plant, this crazy motherfucker, I'm gonna just put in a septic system that's a nice septic system that'll work. Now that I've done my research on septic systems, which I just was like, it's like, there's this certain one. It's called the infiltrator. You basically, instead of putting pipes into the ground, you put these plastic louvered dome tunnels underground. So then I'm gonna plant flowers all over the top of it, right? So normally people just let it go to grass or whatever. I don't think the roots of flowers, not bushes, not trees, but just flowers. Yeah, some perennial, some annual. But having flowers is something I was already gonna do, right? So it's basically like, where was I gonna put the flowers before? I hadn't really figured out. I was gonna put some wildflowers right into the fields the grazing animals go through that were healthy, good for the animals. And then I was gonna, put them somewhere. Now, why is bees? Bees, 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 bees. I wanna have bees, I wanna have honey, right? Diversity, like this whole, just having it all. So anyway, I think I've started doing my research, and there's not a lot, most people just like put grass on it. And, if I irrigate it, right? So, and this might be a no-no. You might not actually be able to put irrigation on your leach field. Because I know in some cases you have to like make it so it can't leach, or make it so other water can't get there and go through your system. Like if you're on a hill or something like that, you have to divert the water around it. I don't know. Being able to water it for, 5 or 10 minutes or something like that every night during the summer, and that is also going to keep the roots from going crazy. Although those plastic louvered things, it's like you're putting this giant void underground, and that's after 2 tanks of separation, right? So, and again, I don't know. I want an extra tank. I see people, they have 2 tanks. This whole tank, and then you have a whole nother tank. And then it goes off into an exchange box, and then it goes off into your different leach fields, right? So everything going out to the leach field is just freaking liquids. Now there's these little hatches are like, they put a dome underneath the ground like that. So there's like this much room and a tube underneath the ground. So it's like this huge void that the water, the liquid can just, and then there's the fact that there's, like 200 feet of leach field or some shit. That's a lot of area, right? Now, okay, so you got all that, and then you start to hear about people talking about how it stinks and all this. Well, that's why I want to put the flowers on top of it. I think that having that area not totally dry out and having that organic layer that's maintained on top of it will actually, because I talk to people that have systems out in this very area with this same soil, the same this and that, right? I look up stuff. So, problem is government's still in the 70s. So I'm finding out that keeping the right, moisture level on top of your desert leach field is going to make it less likely that you're going to get odor out of your leach field, right? Okay, great. Flowers, okay, great. Oh, but then there might be some rule. Oh, you can't irrigate your leach field? What, are you crazy? You're going to put water? Oh, no, that's going to, and it's like, I don't know. I'm just projecting what the problems may be. I don't know if it's going to be a problem or not. Weird shit like that is what I've been dealing with on this sewage treatment plant. I even looked online to the ones that the state recommends that you use, and obviously I'm not a wastewater engineer, but when I compare it with this other system that this guy in Australia built that I was like, wow, that's brilliant. I'm like, these other people are kind of retards. Like, they're pumping shit up and down and back through and all that shit. Hey, well, this guy's doing it with multiple tanks and just gravity. I look at what the state approves for that, and I look at what works, and I'm like, yeah, they're idiots. They're not idiots. I shouldn't say they're idiots. I shouldn't say that. I should just say that they're stuck in the 70s, right? I mean, they came up with this technology. They did all this research. You know, there was probably some problems. You probably had, you know, people were just digging in outhouses all over the place. And they'd move them around their property and put everything in that hole and then bury it. And then they'd have wells and neighbors and all this stuff. So I totally understand, you know, why there is rules, but it's like this technology that they're saying that, like, oh, you can use this thing. That's not even new. That thing's been around for a long time. I mean, it's nothing, and like I said, in my opinion, it's super inefficient because it's pumping. It's using pumps, and you know, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, if you're in a confined space, yeah, but if you've got a long run where you can go tank, 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 what you'll do is you'll develop different microbes in each tank will become optimized for filtering a less and less and less polluted effluent. I mean, it just makes like so much more sense. Like, literally these other systems are pumping the same effluent through the same system that every level of effluent passes through there more than once. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, oh yeah, I'm sure it works and all that shit, but the simple fact that that works, this other thing that this guy in Australia came up with, I mean, that's got to work way better. There's no pumps. A point of failure, you know, electricity goes out on this guy's system. If the electricity goes out, the things just stop bubbling, which could probably cause a lot of problems, but nowhere near the problems that just the whole entire system not being able to work at all. There being nothing, you know, you're just spilling raw sewage, right? I mean, the power going out's not good in any situation. I just think in this other situation it would be a little worse. And this whole system relies on pumps, right? Pumps for the fluent. I don't even think they've got aeration pumps, so that's it. I'm going to give up on the sewage treatment plant at this property for now. Now, hypothetically, I get my septic system in, I'm building, I'm doing this. I could potentially go back and do a sewage treatment plant that like ties in with like the farm. Maybe even, and I know exactly zero about what I'm about to say, but it's just stuff that I'm thinking about, is hypothetically if I had a on-site slaughtery that I could process the grazing animals, then turning all that waste, I mean, I've bought blood meal and bone meal and all these things. Like, there has to be a way to legitimately process, you know, and that's what this is all about. It's like zero input, zero output, or output on zero input, or something like this, right? But using everything, micro systems. So the blood, what am I supposed on a, you know, this slaughtery that's out there in the middle of nowhere, wherever. Let's not just say you can't do that, or you have to bottle up the blood and ship it off, or whatever. Let's come up with systems, because grazing animals are a key integral part of combating climate change, okay? We gotta cover up the dirt. We cover up the dirt with animals pooping on it. And then the weeds grow. We want weeds, okay? Super simplified, but so everybody understands what we're talking about here, right? And this isn't just me. You can go and research everything that I'm talking about and see that there's a lot to it. And tons of people doing tons of stuff all along the same line. So I'm just here trying to get new systems in place. Micro sewage treatment plants, so farms can use the effluent, use the hard cake. Hard cake, oh my God, you want to use that? They fucking do in New York City. Look this shit up. They bake that shit and send it out west. Okay? So, it's happening. You're eating poo food already. And there's nothing wrong with it. The only thing that it's the pathogens, right? That's where the baking comes in, right? Well, that's where my solar oven comes in. So anyway, getting these systems actually to where they're not some, huge nightmare. The processing of bone meal and blood meal, feather meal, micro slaughteries, just all this stuff. This is what we need to do because we need to get out of this feedlot mentality and these inhumane ways of raising animals, okay? We need to decentralize this and have more people doing it. There's a lot of people out there that would love to be doing all this stuff. Farming, raising organic, high quality food. We can do all that, but we just need the cutting edge systems in place to do it. And for the state to be standing in our way, that's just freaking retarded. And I'm going to assume they are because that's what I've gotten so far with the sewage treatment plant. So, like, subscribe, comment.